So depending on how familiar you are with Gainesville, you may or may not be surprised that Forbes actually recently ranked Gainesville in the top 10 best places to live in the state of Florida. But what may really surprise you is what some of the locals are saying, some of the specific reasons why Gainesville should have never been on that list. So Forbes recently put out that list of the best 10 places to live in the state of Florida, and Gainesville landed itself in the number 3 spot, just behind Jacksonville and Tampa. This article is written by Josh Patoka and was edited by Jamie Young. So the primary factors when they were coming up with these rankings were going to be the personal income, median home price, unemployment rate, and also the crime rate in these different areas. So actually Gainesville often appears on many of these lists because on paper Gainesville checks a ton of boxes. It's a small town but not too small. It has a major university and a highly ranked hospital that brings a lot of people into town for employment and medical needs. In addition to that, there are many great nature trails and attractions for people to enjoy. This article reported Gainesville with a population just over 140,000 people, but keep in mind that's going to be just the city of Gainesville. There is a large population on the outskirts and the unincorporated area that is not accounted for in that figure. The median home price is right around $359,500 and estimated monthly expenses at $6,697, the median income at $39,028, an unemployment rate of 2.7%, and also a community wellness score of 64 out of 100. And in addition to that, they had 5,339 reported criminal offenses. Now, what I found really interesting was within just a few hours of our local news station, WCJB, posting their video on Facebook about that number 3 ranking, there were almost 200 comments on the post, and the vast majority of those comments were specific reasons why people thought Gainesville should not be listed on the top 10 places to live in the state of Florida. I thought I would share some of those specific comments and issues with you, because if you're moving to a new area, it's easy to find all the good stuff about a town or a city, but it can be a little bit more challenging to find the negative stuff. And honestly, that's what you want to know. What are the worst things about an area, especially if you're considering moving there? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Donovan Arnold, and I was born and raised here in Gainesville, Florida. My wife and I are now raising our kids here in Gainesville, and we absolutely love it. I put out these videos so I can share with people what it's like to live in Gainesville and what they can expect if they're moving to the area. I'm also a local real estate agent here and have been helping people buy and sell homes for more than 10 years. So to keep up with all the latest Gainesville-related information, you'll want to hit the subscribe button. It's completely free and will keep you in the loop. So now we'll get back to those comments. The majority of complaints actually cited the crime rate, high property taxes, high home prices, high rent, high utilities, poor roads, and too much traffic, just to name a few of them. When it comes to the crime rate, the article noted there were 5,339 criminal offenses reported. Based on the neighborhoodscout.com, they had a similar figure of 5,593, and 1,052 of those were violent crimes. For some perspective, Tallahassee made the number 9 spot on the Forbes list, and while their population is about 50,000 people larger, the article stated they had 7,302 criminal offenses reported. Gainesville, and specifically Alachua County, has long been known for having high property taxes. TaxRate.org states the median property tax in the state of Florida as $1,773, and Miami-Dade County comes in the highest with a median of $2,756. Alachua County is actually now closer to the middle of the pack with a median property tax rate of $1,984. Similarly, Gainesville traditionally has ranked high for having expensive utilities. A Gainesville Sun article stated the average residential bill of 1,000 kilowatts per hour for a municipal utility is at $120.67. But our local Gainesville regional utilities average closer to $154. Now, over the last few years, Gainesville has certainly seen a spike in home values and home prices. Based on Redfin.com, in November, the average sales price was about $250,000, while the national average was closer to $400,000. When it comes to rent, Zillow.com has the median rent in Gainesville at $1,600, while again, the national median was closer to $2,085. So I'm curious, where do you think Gainesville should fall in that top 10 list? Comment down below. Should they be in the top 10? Should they be number 1? Or should they be dead last? Let me know down in the comments. So the roads in Gainesville are a common point of frustration for many locals. A lot of people think for the amount they're paying in property taxes, the roads should be in much better shape. And being born and raised in Gainesville, unfortunately, it's just something I've gotten used to. Yes, you need to pay attention and avoid some of those potholes, but unfortunately, it's not something I project or expect to get better anytime soon. Along those same lines, traffic as a complaint really depends on who you're talking to. Yes, Gainesville has grown dramatically over the years, and you can tell that by the number of cars on the road, but it really depends on what you're used to and what you're coming from. If you're coming from a very dense populated area, Gainesville traffic is not going to seem that bad. But if you're a local and know what it used to be, or you're coming from a smaller town, traffic is going to be a frustration for you. All in all, no town is perfect. The Forbes list does include a lot of great things about Gainesville, but they also gloss over some of the blemishes. If you're curious and want to learn more about some of those blemishes and the bad things about Gainesville, you'll want to go ahead and watch this video where I dive into even more details of all the specific things you would need to know if you're thinking about moving to Gainesville.